Well, Bri, another day, man.
Yeah.
That was a killer hunt.
Yeah, it was.
You know, there's a lot of opportunities for using decoys for different reasons and all that, but today there was a special scenario that we had in mind to really attack these gobblers. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about what we used and why?
Well, we used the Pretty Boy because we were having problems with them staging up, and they weren't committing to us. They wanted to see something, and put him out on the edge of the field, and once he got sight of it, came off roost, he came right in. The week before, we were having problems with them locking up. They were coming to the column, but they were staying off 50, 60 yards, and they didn't see any reason to come in. And the decoy really worked really well this morning.
It did, you know, and one thing you got to be aware of is that with utilizing a full strut decoy, or even, you know, a Jake decoy, those are both decoys that ultimately can be shot. You know, those are like harvestable birds. So you really got to be aware of where you're going to use that decoy. I wouldn't always recommend it on state land or public land because you don't know who else is out there. Not that it won't work. If you feel fairly confident about it, it can definitely be effective. But today we were on private.
Private land, yep. Nobody else is in there but us, and worked like a charm.
The scenario that really kind of keyed it off today was we had multiple birds. You know, a lot of times you gotta be aware that if you do put that big strutting bird out there, it's another 2-year-old, 3-year-old adult gobbler, a great bird, might be intimidated by that and leave and go away.
Right.
But in the situation that we had today, there are so many birds, you know there's competition.
Right.
So they were staking out their area, which is really key. Yes. I mean, this bird, he was in the woods, and we got in there early enough to put out that decoy, and I guarantee he could see it from the roost.
Right.
And he pitched.
Well, we needed him to come that way anyway because the property is definitely.
Oh yeah, we couldn't go in.
A little smaller. There's not as much woodland that we can actually tromp around on right now. So we needed him to come into the field, and that was definitely we know now for next time.
Exactly, and that's so. You know, keep that in mind. When you go into a scenario where you're not getting those birds to commit, they're hanging out on you. If there's a lot of birds in the area, it can be a good opportunity for that competition, that aspect. So
you also mentioned about hunting state land with a decoy. I wouldn't let that deter anybody from bringing those decoys in. Just wrap them in orange or something, just to be on the safe side. But
exactly. You know, but it just
they do look very real. Very realistic. So.
Somebody comes walking in on your setup.
Yeah.
Be aware of how far that decoy is from you. Make sure it's set off maybe a little further. I mean, we had this one at
he was close, yeah. We didn't,
15, 20 yards. We didn't have it very far because, you know, if that bird in a wide open field, it could be a lot further. Right. So, but be aware of that when you get out into the woods. And as you can see today, I can guarantee you it's going to help you at one point in time be pretty successful.
Oh, yeah.
And it did it. It helped us today. So hopefully that's going to help you next time you hit the woods, end up with those hard hunting birds, and it'll help you be more successful. Best of luck. Hunt hard and hunt safe.